Hey, NarendraTheComic here, and I'm gonna be quiet actually. I'm gonna have to be a bit quiet because it is like very late. And just finished, thankfully, finally, after a prolonged period of time, finished watching Lucifer Season 5 Part 1, because there are indeed going to be 2 parts to Season 5, and surprisingly, not what I was expecting. A lot of the stuff going on in the season was out of left field. A lot of the stuff was not what I think anyone expected. And a lot of it was really good. There were some things which I didn't like about the show, and I'll quickly get into those first and then jump into all the positive things, some questions I have. But to start with, I will say on the negative, just to get it done, I think this season, or this half a season, is the worst written season or half season there's been of the show. And I don't mean storyline wise here. I don't mean storytelling wise. I literally mean dialogue wise. Like, it just felt very clunky. It felt very odd. It felt very out of place. And that's never been a case through seasons 1 to 3 and even with season 4. With this half of the season though, I just felt like I was watching a different show at some times. Not because of the storytelling or not because of the storylines, specifically because the dialogue, as I said. So it's not something I'm going to look forward to with the second half of the season. But other than that, and that's really my only major criticism of the show, the season improved practically episode to episode. It was getting better and better. The stuff that was going on was leveling up. There was more layers. And that was definitely missing at the beginning of the season. It was more shock value at the start. And that's fine, I guess, for a bit. But long term, that doesn't help build story, I don't think. But when you got to the last couple episodes, it really did pull you in. I mean, the Ella storyline, the Dan storyline, the Maze storyline, Lucifer, what's going on with him and Menadil. So basically everyone in this show had a good run in this season, other than Chloe. I think she was my least favourite part of the whole show, which is weird because she's been like at the forefront. She's been pushing the series forward for 4 seasons. So the fact that she was my least favourite part of the show is a bit weird, because up to now she's such a well fleshed out character and there's a lot of things to do with all her relationships with other characters. So I did find that a little annoying, but Maze's whole arc, definitely something which is going to be bled into next half of the season. I don't like how fickle she is, like being like, oh, you're the bad guys, but I hate you, so I'm going to be on the bad guy side. But at the same time, it's sort of her character. That's sort of who she has been in some ways. Even though she knows who her friends are, she is like a little bit of a dick. So flimsy. She'll just be on one side, then the other side, then one side, then the other side. It gets a bit tedious at times. The stuff going on with Menadil as well, with his baby problems, and I wouldn't wish those types of thoughts on anyone, especially a deity who's not contemplated the ideas really of life and death. And then you're like, oh, my baby gonna die. Especially in the last episode where he froze time. He's got his powers back. A lot of power switching, power swapping going on. The last fight scene was genuinely really well done. One of the better fight scenes really ever. Yeah, I would say it's up there with the best of all the fight scenes through the entire show. Pretty well choreographed, and there was something behind that which made the show inherently real, even though obviously it's about angels, archangels, the devil, demons, God. We'll get to that. But generally, other than Chloe and her writing, the characters were pretty well written overall. I think Dan had a real full arc in a lot of ways, and where he was last season with season 4 and where he was at the beginning of this season, I'm glad he's sort of come back round up to this point to some degree. Ella, bad decisions are made. Everyone makes them at some point in their life. She just seems to make a lot of them all the time though. So maybe she needs to work on that aspect of it. And is Ella secretly some type of evil person? I don't know. I don't think she knows she's evil. But maybe she might slyly be some type of legendary demon or something. And that's why Lucifer likes being around her. I don't know. Maybe she's so good and bubbly, she's secretly like super evil without knowing it. Though. And with Michael being the main villain of the season or half season in all likelihood, I think they had something unique and different for half a season, and for 8 episodes, I think it works. I think if this was spread over 16, it would have been a more difficult story to tell to keep him bled throughout all the episodes. But the way it was, I think he was a good villain. He had that weird, or Lucifer did an impression of him, and India does a really good impression of Michael, of Lucifer doing an impression of Michael. I'm not going to do it, but it is fun. And then at the end of the season, like no one's business, good old God pops down, dad to them, all the angels. He's like, hey lads, you can't be doing this fighting shenanigans. You've paused time, Amenadiel. Now you're all fighting here. You can't be doing that. You don't do that. That's not good. And I'm thinking to myself, hey, I don't buy this. I think this is a play from Michael here. Is that really God? I don't think so, for one reason, because we saw God. Well, we didn't see him. We heard God in one episode of season 3, one of the extra episodes, and they are canon. And it was Neil Gaiman who was basically playing God. I'm pretty sure that's the way the episode was done. And Neil Gaiman was God. So I thought eventually at one point they will have him playing God throughout the show here and there if there's voiceovers. And then you see God pop down. And to be blunt, it ain't Neil Gaiman, all right? It's not him. It's another guy. And I'm 100% sure and certain, without any shadow of a doubt, it ain't Neil Gaiman. So either this guy is not really God, or they've had a continuity problem and they didn't want to get Neil Gaiman to have an acting, a consistent acting role as opposed to just like one-offs and random cameos. He's actually going to be part of the story from now on. So either it's God, which is weird, and they've retconned stuff, or it's like a demon. But I don't really buy it's a demon because Lucifer would know if it was a demon or not straight away. And it can't be a human who Michael's paid off because time was frozen, because Amenadiel froze time. So it makes me think, who the hell is this person? If it's not God, then something is up, something is awry. So it leads me to think it probably is God, but I don't know if I buy it, you know? Even though all three of them were fighting, which I would think would lead to someone being like, hey, Dad, there's a problem here. He's like, what? The three of them are fighting on Earth and Amenadiel's frozen time, so you should probably get down there and stop it. He's like, do I have to get out of my bathtub? Do I have to do that? All right? Yes, you have to do that, Dad. All right, okay, I'll do it. I'm sorry, lads. I have to go down. Like, I think that's sort of what's going on with the end of the season. So is God going to stay on Earth if that is indeed God? Is he going to go back to the heavens? Is he going to take Michael back with him? Is he going to send Michael to hell? I don't know. Because if you looked at that scene objectively, Michael is the bad guy. Like, there's no other way to look at it. If you're subjective and you're like, Michael's good guy, then maybe you could look at it the other way. But if you're objective, Michael is not good person. Lucifer and Amenadiel, good people. Good show, good season. Probably the weakest set of episodes of the entire show so far. But considering it is just half a season and not a full season, I don't think I can hold judgment over the storytelling because this is only half of the story they're trying to tell. So we'll see how the second half of the season goes because, as you know, seasons 1, 2, and 3 are absolute iconic levels of television. In my opinion, they're some of the best television I've seen over the past 10 years, especially those first 3 seasons. Season 4 also very, very good. I was dubious. I wasn't sure if it was going to be as good. And thankfully it stood up and it had that feel and the vibe that you want from a Lucifer show, even though I do feel 4 was the weakest up to that point, just because there was something slightly off about it. 5, though, so far has gone more in that offshoot direction, which is fine. But as long as the second half of the season reels it in and puts forward a story and the story they're trying to tell in a good light, then I'm all game for it. So we'll see where it goes. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel down there. If you didn't, Michael will come after you. You don't want that. I'm just going to get a picture of Lucifer and stick it up there because I'm not going to get a hunched picture of him. That's just too much. That's too much effort. There's too much stuff going on. I'm not going to be able to find that. He's going to come after you. Bit of a sick shit. Not good guy. Bad guy. Definitely evil. You don't want that. You really don't. So just subscribe anyway to avoid that. I've been NarendraTheComic. You've been great. I'll see you next time. That's tomorrow. If you don't know, make a video every single day. Been doing it for over 2 years now and we ain't stopping. We ain't stopping till we get to 10,000 subscribers. So do subscribe. Come back in tomorrow for some more quality shitty content because we're hashtag never not here. If you don't know, we're never not here. Every single day, over 2 years, not stopping, 10,000 subscribers, quality shitty content, hashtag never not here. So I'll see you tomorrow with some more quality shitty contentamento. Yes, we'll stop there. See you tomorrow. Skadoosh.